Wit faster than her guns, guns faster than her horses, and horses faster than any other in the U.S. Postal Service. Mary Fields, better known as Stagecoach Mary, was the first black woman hired as a mail carrier in the United States. Born a slave but emancipated following the American Civil War, Mary moved around working hard labor until eventually starting and running her own saloon. Unfortunately, her business went bankrupt within a year, as Mary invited the poor and downtrodden to regularly eat at her establishment for free. By this time 60-odd years old, her mind and hands remained as sharp as ever, so she applied and was accepted to be a star route carrier for postage and mail. As a stagecoach driver, Mary is remembered for her skill with guns, bravado, and reliability, having never missed a day of work. Her hometown loved her dearly. For every birthday until her grand funeral by the time she was 81, the town would close all establishments down to celebrate this Wild West legend. In 1960, Dashrath Manjhi picked up his hammer and chisel, walked to the edge of his village, and started picking away at the mountains of stone in front of him. Just a year earlier, Dashrath's wife Falguni Devi had gravely injured herself falling down the stony hills of the region. She'd soon succumbed from a lack of appropriate medical care, as the nearest doctor was a 90-kilometer journey away, separated from their village by ridges of natural earth and topography. Dashrath generally worked 22 years by himself, moving the earth with his hands and dreaming of a path to prevent the same tragedy from befalling anyone else. By 1982, Dashrath had carved out a 110-meter-long, 9.1-meter-wide path that cut down his village's distance from the next from 90 kilometers to a fourth of that distance. The now 15-kilometer journey that could have saved the life of his Falguni. Snake Man Bill Haast housed, studied, and extracted live venom from some of the most dangerous snakes from around the world. Haast began collecting snakes when he was 15 years old and would use his time as a flight engineer later in his life to bring home snakes from Latin America, Africa, and India. By the time he was 55, Haast was managing his Miami Serpentarium, exhibiting over 500 unique snake specimens, from which he'd extract venom from using his bare hands. Given these, Haast also studied and recognized the importance of the medical functions of snake venoms. He would regularly inject himself with gradually increasing dosages of the deadliest cobra venom, then donate samples of his blood to healthcare institutions for the study of not just antivenoms, but also to aid in the research to combat the rampancy of polio at the time. Haast would cease personally handling snakes, but continue researching them until his death by the time he was 100 years old. The last living master of a 1,000-year-old craft lineage for the production of a luxury good coveted by empires and churches since the Old Testament, 62-year-old Chiara Vigo tirelessly upholds all the traditions in processing byssus, popularly known as sea silk. These traditions include skin diving each spring into a secret lagoon and harvesting wisp-thin fibers from an endangered clam's saliva, preparing and individually sifting through these fibers for 25 days on end to ready it for weaving, and committing to the sea oath, which is a solemn vow undertaken by all byssus craftsmen to never make a single coin from selling their product. Sea silk handiworks must be offered freely as gifts, a tenet Vigo holds too dearly, regularly refusing tens and hundreds of millions of dollars worth of handiwork each year to preserve the dignity of the art form. The story of Aisholpan Nurgaiv is one of steely determination, generational talent, and keeping an eagle eye on the goal beyond the trophy. Aisholpan was born into a culture that prized eagle hunting, a tradition that soared beyond conventional tools, weapons, and tracking techniques, and delved into cultivating the synchronicity between hunter and raptor, working and moving in harmony within the circle of life. At just 13 years of age, Aisholpan joined a tribal competition that saw her compete against aged, accoladed, and most importantly, uncritically accepted men in the realm of eagle hunting. Against all odds, she came out on top and set a new speed record with her personally trained eaglet to secure international acclaim and the death stroke for any future attempt at gendering her people's tradition out of the grasp of anyone who was not born male. Aisholpan continues to pursue excellence in her people's traditions, in addition to pursuing her professional ambitions within the field of medicine.